some idea of what steps you take to solve a two-step equation. What do we mean by a two-step equation? Well, first of all, we're going to assume that we're talking about a linear equation with just one variable, like x. We're trying to solve for x. For now, we'll assume that the equation doesn't contain any fractions and that there's no parentheses to remove. That would increase the difficulty a little bit. The general idea is this: collect and combine similar terms on either side of the equal sign. Terms containing the variable on one side and constant terms on the other. Whoops, I got that parentheses backward. Then divide both sides by the numerical coefficient of the term containing the variable. Or you can multiply both sides by the reciprocal of the numerical coefficient. What do we mean by the word term? We got to make sure we got the vocabulary in agreement. In equation number 1, 2x is a term. There's an understood plus sign in front of the 2x. Plus 5 is a term. 9 and 4 are constant terms on the right side of the equal sign. Down here in number 11, 7x is a term. Negative 11x is a term. There's an understood plus sign separating the terms. We just don't show it. So this minus sign goes with the 11x. Minus 11x is a term. Plus 3 is a term. 15 is also a constant term. And so when you have a simple equation like this one right here, the idea is to get the terms that are constant on one side of the equal sign and the terms containing the variable on the other side, and then combine those terms. To get a term from one side of the equal sign to the other, you learn the addition subtraction properties of equality. But an easy mental device is to picture a term like a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. If you want to move a term from one side of the equal sign to the other, picture picking it up and transposing it to the other side. But when you do that, you change its sign. See how we ended up with a minus 3 over here? These combine to 0. That's called transposition of terms. And now we're down to this simple one-step equation. Divide both sides by the numerical coefficient of x. My recommendation is not to do this. Just go from here to here. Because if you're later on, if you're solving an inequality like this, if you go like this is no longer a true statement because you had to reverse the direction of that inequality symbol. So I think this is a bad habit. All right, so let's take a look. 5x plus 4 equals 2x minus 1. Our idea is to get the terms containing the variable on one side of the equal sign, the constants on the other. So we want to get this. We'll choose, let's say, in this first iteration to get the x's on the left side of the equal sign. So we're going to transpose this 2x, picture picking it up, transposing it to the other side, which means you're subtracting 2x from both sides. So you change the sign. So this is what you visualize. And we're going to transpose the 4 to the other side. Negative 1 minus 4. Hopefully you can visualize this step, but if you need to write it down until you're comfortable doing that, you can go ahead and write it down. But 5x minus 2x combines to 3x, negative 1 minus 4 to negative 5. Divide both sides by the numerical coefficient of x. That means 3x divided by 3 is just going to give us an x, and negative 5 divided by 3. That's your answer right there, negative 5/3. Here's an example where we do the same problem, but we'll put the x's on the right side of the equal sign. That's your choice. So we're going to transpose the 5x to the right and the negative 1 to the left. And that's what it looks like after you've done the transposition. Hopefully someday you'll be able to look at that and just go right from this step to this step. And that's one step. And now the second step, divide both sides by the numerical coefficient of x, negative 3. So x equals negative, or 5 over negative 3. Using the symmetric property for equality, you can rewrite it so that the x is on the left, and just making the observation that every fraction has three signs: the sign of the numerator, the sign of the fraction itself. In this case, it's a plus and a plus. We don't usually show them. So when you have a negative fraction, you can put the negative in the numerator, the negative sign out front, or the negative in the denominator. A couple more quick examples. Let's get the x's on the left. Transpose this negative 3x over here. Becomes a plus 3x. Negative 7x plus 3x is negative 4x. Transpose this 15 over here. Becomes a negative 15. Divide both sides by the numerical coefficient of x, negative 5/4. And we'll end with this one. 8 minus 72x equals negative 15x plus 12. I chose to put the negative 72x on the right side of the equal sign. I wasn't comfortable figuring out what 72x minus 15x is in my head, so up here on my scratch paper, I did 57x. And 8 minus 12 is negative 4. Divide by the coefficient of x. I got that upside down. It would be negative 4 divided by 57. There you go. Hope that helped. If you have any questions, post a comment.